In this episode of Ultimate Creator Tutorial series, we will take a look at the editor and pretty much every single button, show a few tips, and yeah, enjoy the video. So the first thing you want to do is get familiar with the editor and customize it to your needs and to your likings. I have already customized it to my likings, and you do this in this gear up here. Here have like quite a lot of options. Some are UI based and some are just here to customize how the editor looks. One very good example is the buttons per row and button rows. This will customize how many rows and how many buttons there are in a row. I just recommend putting it to 12 and 3 because that makes it look the best, and if you have it on default, that will just make it the dots just go off the screen. So put it at 12 and 3. I also recommend enable link controls because that will put these two buttons in the corner here, and what that does is when you select two objects and you click this connect button, now they behave like one object, and you can also undo that and now they're individual objects. That still does count towards your object count. If you connect your whole level, that will still be how many objects there are. Now let's go over some buttons. This button here is the song button. This one is the playtest. It's pretty much so you can play your level in the editor. You don't have to go save and play every time you want to test it. The zoom and unzoom button, the link controls, the delete button. The build button has every single material in the game, almost. Edit button just lets you move objects and stuff like that. These move it not by much. These move it once grid space. These two switch how the object is rotated. This one mirrors it up and down. This one mirrors it left and right. These buttons rotate the object. These also rotate the object, but in 45-degree angles. These buttons move it by 5 grid spaces. This is actually very helpful if you want to copy and paste an object from the beginning of the level to the end. These move it for like almost nothing, but we'll learn how to use them in a short period of time. And there is the scale, the scale bar. If you have mega hack, there's also an option to make it go over the limit. We're also gonna abuse that a little. And if you have the new, if you have mega hack extensions, you can also have this rotate button, which I also am still learning to use. This is going to be in an advanced tutorial. Here is also the delete tab. This one deletes just the block you have. This one deletes all the start positions. We're gonna learn about these. This one deletes all of the blocks that you have selected. That means if you have the default block selected and you click this, it will delete all of these default blocks. This is just the filters. This one is the no filters. This one is for static blocks. This one's for details, and this one's for custom objects. That means it's only gonna delete these. These one are pretty much the same. Only this one is a Thanos snap version of this one. We also have the swipe. It's like a brush. It also works with the delete button. There is also the rotate. This one does not work with the one with the hitboxes. It works with these that don't have the hitbox mostly, and you can rotate them without using the edit tab. Free move is very underrated in my opinion. Whatever you have selected, you can freely move. Only have to have it on edit. You can freely move around the grid, and if you don't want it to be like not in the if you want it to be in the grid spaces, you just put snap. We also have a lot of buttons here, like preview mode is that it shows accurate colors. Show grid is show ground is to show well, the ground. Show object info, also recommend this because it shows you how many objects you have there. For an example, this what I have selected is 6 blocks. Show grid, please have this turned on. It absolutely hurts my brain when I see someone that does not have show grid on. Select filters, this one's complicated and I don't recommend it really. Follow player, I mean, you have to have this turned on or else it's not gonna work well. Ignore damage is literally just no clip in Mega Hack, but only for the editor. So, for example, if I put a spike here, like maybe a quad spike, and I have ignore damage on, I can just pass through them without warning. But if I don't have that on, and I go, I will die to the spikes. There are also like a lot of buttons here. This is the copy and paste button and copy and paste button. These are all individual, I don't know why. Edit special button, this one works for saw blades and many other stuff. For example, saw blades have the custom rotation and disable rotation. You can do this with black orb for some reason. Fun fact, if you have 2 black orbs and you click edit special, you can do custom rotations. This does not work with any other orb. I don't really know why. There is the edit group. For an example, if I have the default block and I put edit group, there are like a billion buttons pop up. The editor layer, we're gonna talk about them a little bit later. Editor layer 2, this is just editor layers but the secondary one. Z order is to put an object above another object. For an example, this spike has Z order 2 and this block has also Z order 2, so if I want this block to be under the spike, I'm gonna decrease the Z order by 2, so no matter what I do, it's gonna be now under the spike. There is also the groups, which we're gonna talk about in triggers more. This just adds the object to a specific group you want. These are also the Z layers. These are like bigger versions of this. So again, bigger means above the object, smaller means beneath the objects. There's also don't faint, don't enter. If you're having a very detailed level and it just looks ugly when objects fade in and enter, just turn these on and all. Select all. You can just do select all and then don't faint, don't enter, and there should not be any don't faint or enter animations. Group parent is actually very fun to mess with. If you put these two to a group and put one of them to group parent and you scale them, it will scale it around that object. There's also the high detail. This is when you have too many details in a level and it lags the game on smaller devices. So you can just, I don't know, let's say this is a very detailed level. It's not. And this is one of the details that takes way too much space, and now if I try, this is what it pops up, low detail mode. If I don't put that on, the spike will be there. If I check it, the spike will not be there because it's on high detail mode. Now that we're done with the group one, edit object is for color and HSV. This is very fun to experiment around, and I recommend that. Yeah, the edit objects is mostly colors. There's also the copy and paste color. And glow, this is not what you think it is. This is when an object itself has a little glow. See this white glow around it? You can disable that in the editor. You just select it, go to no glow, and now if I try and play the level, the glow will be gone. And now the glow is gone. Copy values is just copying. You copy values, and then if I don't know, have an object that has different colors. This one won't be good. And I don't know, say that this one's red. I can copy the state, that means the layers and everything, or I can copy the color. Now this will be white because this one's white. The color button, this one helps you look at the object and change the colors of it. I recommend messing with that as well. Now I have the color of this at, well, this lime green, the ocean one. There's also go to layer. That means if this one is at layer 7 and I go to layer of that object, it will take me by oh yeah, you set the layer here, and if I go to layer, it will send me to that layer. Deselect is just to deselect a block, nothing special. Okay, so now we have these buttons here, which is a lot of them. This one's the select the song. You have all the main songs. If you have Mega Hack and you have, I think it is Song Bypass, it will give you all the songs except for the Sub-Zero one songs. Also I think the challenge song is also in here. Custom songs, you have a search one. If you have extensions of Mega Hack, you can download the search one. So if I say add the speed of light, it will just show me the add the speed of light. Here at create lines, you play the song and you click to the beat or something, so you can sing the level easier. Select mode, this is the place where you select the game mode you start with. The speed that you start with, let's say I want to start with a robot at 4 times speed. Now we will start with the robot at 4 times speed. I say I want the spider at 1 times, I'm gonna go with the spider with 1 times. I'm just gonna go with the cube one times. 2-player mode, that's just the dual portal, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why it's not working. It's probably broken. Mini, that is just, well, your mini. And yeah, dual. Yeah, 2-player mode is just so they're controlled separately, and if you don't have 2-player mode, it just will be the normal dual. Font, you have this for the text. Let's say I want font 5, and I go into this tab and select this A. Now everything I write in here, like subscribe, it will be in that font. By the way, you should totally do that. If you don't want to miss out on any other episodes we're doing on the Ultimate Creator Guide, you should hit that subscribe button. It will help a lot. Why can't I click that? There's also the ground. You select which ground you want. I usually have the ground turned off because it distracts me from the actual level. Let's say I want the electrodynamics background, and now I have these two backgrounds. We'll just go for my favorite background. This one's my favorite. We're gonna go with the deadlocked ground and background. These colors here are the background colors. We're gonna go with this soft green and this green for the ground. Like you see, the ground 1 and ground 2 are very, very different. That's because they are separate, and people have troubles with knowing which one is which. So ground 1 is the bottom one most of the time. We can also check, yeah, it's bottom one almost all the time. I think it's always. And ground 2 is the upper one. Line, if you ever play any levels, you will see this white line on the top of the ground. This is this. And if you make it one thing, if you have blending and black turned on, it will be invisible. Let's say I want this pinkish, and now this line is pinkish. I'm just gonna turn off the ground because I don't like that. So 3DL object is, well, object, like we changed the color of this object. 3DL is for 3D objects. Let's say I want them blue. And now these 3D objects will be blue. We'll also learn how to do 3D in this series, but it makes sense that you do this. Copy color, and then the color you want to copy. I want to copy the object color, and now it's the same. More, you have all your colors, and now it's time to talk about the color UI a little. Copy color, we've already talked about this. Here you can change the hue, saturation, and brightness. Blending, this is, well, it's like it makes it, I guess you can say, transparent. These ground objects, if you put them on just the normal, it will not be as good looking, and I recommend just putting blending on so it looks more natural. Then there is the player 2 and player 1 color. This will make it, well, the player 2 and the player 1 color. Then it is, I think this is mega hack again. Opacity is how transparent it is. It's like different. This is different than blending. Oh yeah, blending is the color thing. So if you have an object, two different objects, and they're all blending, and you put them together, it will add their HSV colors and put them into one object. So if I put it like this now, it will make it whiter, if that's even a word. And now that I made it blending, this is also transparent, I guess. Well, I don't think there's much to say anymore. Oh yeah, there are these buttons. Build helper is when you have like a trigger, let's say a move trigger and a spike. And this one is group 1. And this one moves group 1 by, I don't know, 110 grid spaces. If you copy it and put build helper, it will automatically change the color, the group, the next free group. There is create base. This is for the 2.1 objects, I'm pretty sure. Let's say this slope. No, not this slope. This inner piece. And I say create base. Oh, it doesn't work on the slopes. Okay. Let's say create base on this, and it will create the base. And the other way around. No, it's not the other way around. Okay. I was pretty sure that there was another button. Create edges is for these blocks, the finger dash ones, and create edges is also for the finger dash blocks. It creates edges for them. Reset, unset, I don't even know what this does. I would probably... yeah, okay, this is to reset all the channels. Uncheck portals is so when you have a portal, let's say a ship portal that has boundaries, and it shows the edges. When you have multiple of them, it gets pretty messy. So uncheck portals just unchecks all the boundaries. Another tip, if you are starting with the ship and you want to see the boundaries, put the portal under the ground and it will show the boundaries above, because it cannot show the boundaries under the ground because you can't play there, except if you do some bugs. Keys, this is if you want any shortcuts, you can just look up what any of them do. I'm gonna show you some tricks now. Like if you want to half space an object, just have it selected, go to the mini spike, and you can now half space it, so now it's on half the block. And if you want to move it for a quarter of a block, go to this pixel object on page 3 of this. You can quarter space it, so now you see I quarter space it. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next tutorial.